Hi, today what I thought I would do is just share a few pros and cons when it comes to purchasing a new home, a new build in today's market. And so let's start on the pro side. Let's start on that side of the ledger. And so first pro that I thought of has to do with the fact that a lot of these homes are coming with the smart home features, the energy efficient appliances. This is going to save you on your utility bills. If you want to adjust your thermostat from your cell phone and things like that, these are some of the things that these new homes come with, already included. Another pro is going to be the fact that with it being a new build, while it may not necessarily be fully customizable, a lot of times the builders will allow for you to do certain upgrades. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to upgrade your kitchen cabinets or you wanted to upgrade your flooring. You can do so. There's a cost associated with it, but that's going to give you the feel to really kind of truly make it your own and not have to go into a resale home, for example, and tear out all the flooring and put in new flooring that you would like. Lastly, one of the pros has to do with the fact that it's going to come with lower maintenance costs, because when you are buying a new build, you're getting a brand new roof, a brand new air conditioning unit. So those are all things that you're not going to have to worry about for 10, 15, 20 years down the road. And so those are all big pros for purchasing a new build. And let's talk a little bit about the con side. So a couple of cons, and one of the big cons is that you're typically paying more for the home than you would on a resale. This has especially been true over the last 2-3 years here in the Phoenix metro area in particular. I'm sure other parts of the country as well, but specifically here, where many of these builders are sometimes paying your closing costs, buying down the rate really low and things like that. Well, that's costing the builder, in some cases, $40,000, $50,000, and they're typically just kind of building that into the price of the home. So that's just something to be aware of, is that you're paying more in order to get those incentives, in order to get that lower rate and what have you. Now, this can be a problem, especially if you're thinking of selling in the next 2-3 years, because I've had many clients that have reached out where they bought a new build, say 2 years ago, were looking to sell and were unable to do so due to the fact that they are now kind of upside down in the home. In other words, they can't get enough out. So that's just something to keep in mind, is that it's something that you probably want to be looking at long term being in that home. Another con is the fact that many of the areas close in have already been built up. So a lot of these new construction homes are taking place on the outskirts, meaning that you're going to have typically longer commutes to get to your work than maybe what you've been used to, or maybe what you're willing to accept. So kind of keep that in mind as well. And then lastly, an additional con that I thought of is, you look at a lot of these new builds today, and many of them are sitting on much smaller lots. You're extremely close to your neighbor, whereas many resale homes, especially if they were built maybe 20, 30 years ago, have a little bit larger lots. You've got a little bit more distance between you and your neighbors. So depending upon what your thoughts are, that's obviously something for you to consider as well. Now, this isn't obviously all the pros and cons when it comes to buying a new build. These are just a couple that I thought I would throw out there for you to consider and keep in mind as we roll into the new year here. And if you think that this is a year you might want to buy, you could look at, okay, if I do a new build, these are some pros and cons. If I buy a resale, there's pros and cons to that as well. Feel free to reach out to us and I'll kind of discuss those with you also. Hey, if you found this information helpful, please do me a favor and subscribe to our page here. I would greatly appreciate that. If you feel that this information will be helpful to one of your friends or family that is considering buying a new build, feel free to forward it to them. And if there's anything we can ever do for you, just reach out. You can always call, you can text us. We're always available to answer your questions. We look forward to hearing from you soon. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.